So tonight we are having Wowa again here with us, just a few weeks after he was here before. So it's
it was in March.
Yeah, it's a few weeks.
Okay.
It's a great new habit of you to come more often.
Thank you.
And he came to introduce his 4 new modules. And he brought the AP1 Mark II, which is here in the picture, the VCSC, which we can see here, I hope. Yeah, we can see it.
It's new.
And 2 MK2 modules. The first is his voice module, and the second is the bass drum and lead generator. And we are going to have an overview over the updated functions, and the compressor is, I think, more or less entirely a new design. And we are going to hear a bit of the sound they produce. It's not going to be a jam session, more introduction to those modules. And I think we begin with the AP1 audio processor, which has not changed so dramatically as we can see just by looking at the surface, but there have been really some changes into this module, and I think the major one is that we can now set the compression ratio, which was not possible before. And Wowa is going to explain more about it.
Okay. So, I said a lot.
No,
already.
Not so much. You told me much more before.
I'm shy. So anyway, yes, as Tom said, it's totally different design, both for compressor and for microphone amplifier. Microphone amplifier is kind of state-of-the-art circuits, very low noise and absolutely professional level of gaining the sound. So anyway, it's the same configuration with the microphone input, which has built-in phantom voltage, which is also changed. So you can take even a vintage microphone and it will power up without any problems. And so what is it on? Aha, because so as soon you insert instrument jack inside, you have a phantom now on. So, but we will not use microphone because of the feedback and all those stuff. As soon you insert instrument, it's off. And then small changes. I introduced gate to trigger other modules, which has gate input or trigger input. Otherwise, you have side chain, switchable side chain, low pass and high pass for lifting or ducking or the bass or higher tones. Attack release, which you have CV as well, and this is it. So we can maybe play some drum sound.
Just one thing to add. Also new in the design is that now the compressor circuit is compensated in its gain, so there will be no drop in the volume of the output signal as it's set towards the compressor output, which is really a great feature, because before this had to be compensated afterwards, and or you had to go higher on the input gain, but there was something to do about it, and now this is it's very nice now, as we can hear after really with this example.
No?
Yeah, of course.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Just crank up the volume.
So here we have the pure signal. Maybe we can listen first how it sounds. This is stamped here, as we can see,
10 dB.
10 dB. Okay, maybe now we go for the
Okay, so this is the module. Not much to add. I mean, what?
I think it got really a lot better than before, and it was before really a great module. And I think the gate output is really very versatile. Then before it was, I would say, kind of missing, and now it really completes the setup. And I think altogether it's really an extremely versatile module because it gives the ability to integrate microphones, instruments such as guitars. It gives the ability to boost signals, to treat the sound with a compressor, and to extract gate. And that's really a lot for an audio interface, and it's I think it's really a great Mark II version.
Yeah, I think so. And of course,
that's why you did it.
Yes, and I want to add that it's not optocompressor anymore. It had a lot of drawbacks. Those elements are they have now the same values, so I have to trim afterwards. And it was this problem with drop of volume also. This is kind of the old school, this mu compressor, which gradually compress more and more and more and more. And also it has gain lift. Therefore you don't hear any drop of volume. It's almost constant. You have just more compression. Okay, so now we can show the stereo compressor. Which is kind of no surprises. He is just the same as those other compressor has. Its ratio, threshold, attack release. It has a makeup gain, but this makeup gain, since it's module, you can actually transform this compressor as VCA as well, because it works from 0 to plus 15 dB. This one has not so good gain compensation as previous one, but he has other duties since you have this makeup gain, so it's like regular compressor, except for it has built-in voltage controlled sidechain filter, low pass or high pass, which you can voltage control as well, which will not show now how it works, but if you control from envelopes or whatever, it can change dynamically the characteristic of compressor dramatically.
I think also that you have added the meters for the input,
yes.
Having the stereo meter on the output, and here we have
engage
button, which is also really nice that we can compare the signal.
Yes, exactly. Okay. No, I can do it here. So this is without compression. Signal, I think.
Yeah, the signal sounds like it should be boosted a bit in this one.
Yeah, because it doesn't show any.
Yeah, we boosted.
Gain reduction. Let me turn off.
And also, when you insert just the mono signal to the left channel, it will be passed to the right channel as well.
don't know. It was working before. Okay.
So right at this stage, so you have the uncompressed signal,
Now we have
and
to.
it's really limited now.
Yeah. It's not like something wow, it's just stereo compressor, okay?
Not
But-
only just, huh?
Yeah, but what I mean, yes, of course it has send and return as well, so you can,
You can make really a lot. So you can make side chaining, which is really great in studio music. What I also like is that it has gotten more compact in the overall design than the one before, where it's still providing more in and output options than before,
yeah,
which I also really like. And everything feels really solid. The jacks is complete metal. Everything's a very nice module.
yes, of course we have quarter-inch jacks as well, not only those small for
Yeah.
modular system. And inside is full-blown professional bus compressor actually. I didn't call it bus compressor because it's module. It's VC control as well. But I imagine everything is just as those outboards from very well-known companies who produce compressors actually. So okay, so this was two audio processing device. And now we have synthesizing modules. So we can start with, I don't know.
Yeah, wait, I do it.
Okay, good. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
I should be able to manage this.
Yes, I think. No, we can start with
the BLD? With the
no.
filter just, yeah, that's good. So, but first I want to introduce this a bit because I think, as we can see already here in the size, and maybe many people know this module, but maybe also not because it has, I think, not been available in a very long time.
Yeah.
And ever since it was launched, it was what I think in the US is called the bang for the buck. It's really an extremely, it goes for 700 and it's a complete synthesizer in there.
Almost, not a complete.
Yeah, but it's really, and I think it's really, it's great for beginners, it's great as an add-on in the system, it's extremely compact for what it delivers. It has a filter that you cannot buy anywhere else in the whole Cwejman setup with a morph function.
No.
It has already two envelopes that has external audio input, so I think it brings really a lot of value into the system, and also for potential use in a polyphonic system, it's really a great module.
Okay.
If you will ever get 4 of these, then it's really great. And so, yeah, I think we're curious to hear what the changes to this module are.
Yeah. So I want to keep the same footprint, the same size of module, all big controllers. I added actually 3 switches. The first switch is this one. So it's a switch which select 2 different pulse width waveforms, which sound very differently. If you is familiar with VCO6, it's the copy of VCO6.
Should we quickly have a listen to how they sound?
Yeah, I hope. Oh yeah, we have the picture of it. This is the you can maybe raise up. So this is the pulse width, starting with the what is okay. It's going through filter, so it's a little bit high pass. Or maybe we can. You know what? Oh, now I know why. now it's clean. And the second one, it sounds this way. It's about the harmonic content. This has even harmonics more, so they sound differently from so this is small modification from standard pulse, which is asymmetrical, which causes DC shift when you modulate it. This is totally symmetrical, so you have no jumps in waveform. And also, okay, we have other waveforms. Nothing? Oh, yeah. We can see there, it's the standard. This one, we have noise as well. And three, like shark waveform, triangle, and sine wave. Yeah, so that was the oscillator itself. So sonically is bigger than the previous one. It has much more. And then we have external audio input. Maybe we can have some, VCO6.
Maybe the drumlet. Or the
No, that's okay. We have audio in. Yeah. And we can mix, of course, with this. For example. And then we have this switch, which is between just pure signaling or ring modulator from those two. And you can see the waveforms, which, if somebody is familiar with waveform, oscilloscope pictures, then you can see that it is ring modulator. This is pure. Can make like tremolo sounds or bell-like sounds as well. Okay.
And so again, I say it's a lot of performance in this little one.
Yeah,
it's
so
really
it has more waveforms, very useful, I think.
Yeah.
Plus this ring modulator feature and also noise. And with external
Audio.
Oscillator or audio, you have kind of much more value in the same format. Filter, well, I can. It's 24 dB filter. It's the same filter as I had before. It's what I want to add. It's all my filters are my own design, not based on anything else. So I was reading on different forums that Cwejman is this and this is that. No, they are totally wrong.
So you're not doing Moog filters?
The MF2 is based on Moog filter, yes, but it's also very different, okay? Very much different. This one is absolutely, my goal was to make clean filters and low noise filters. So this is, and then you have, no, I can do it here. Now it starts to self-oscillate. And this filter is, you can make even LFO sine waves. It goes very much down and it's very broadband. And also we have morphing feature, which is between low pass, band pass in the middle, and high pass. And this can be voltage controlled, which we can...
Which we should hear this. Yeah.
We should demonstrate, yes, of course.
And I think it's quite a unique feature, anyhow, because there's not so many filters capable of doing this.
I don't know. I don't check others actually.
You don't have to, but
no.
I think it's not really a common feature. This, I think, is for sure, and we had it before. I think that we're synchronizing this. Do we have another cable here? Yeah. That we were synchronizing this one.
Audio rate, yes, in audio rate. You can do it later. You can do it later. This
no. I just wanted to show.
Yeah, of course. Very much. Very good. So yeah, and then this is the same envelope generator settings. You have ADSR and attack release.
Which was a tech decay before, right?
No, it was attack release. It was attack release. Since it stays at gate.
Yeah, so if we have a long gate and we have 0 attack and 0 release, we will hear the gate actually on the VCA.
Yeah, with attack and release, yes. What I did also here, but this is experimental, I changed attack portion of envelope for more exponential, so it doesn't go like those normal, like logarithmic, but more exponential, because I discovered that it's more punchy actually, and it follows the natural volume, so to speak. Yes, more like not this way, but this way. Yeah. And then we have filter output and voice output, which is after voltage control amplifier, which is controlled from ADSR or this attack release. And then, yes, we have also its gate and trigger, or a trigger actually, plus level, which means it's actually velocity. So you're playing your module, it's kind of the same volume, right? If you don't modulate other stuff, but you can change like velocity, like piano, right? So this is the old things. And last is saturation. I don't hear anything. Saturation stage. Oh, okay. We have to actually. It's after
so
VCA.
we have to trigger it.
Yeah. This is clean sound. This is not like big saturation, but it adds some color to the sound. Yeah, you can tell them this one.
Ah, yeah. So here we have Here we can determine whether the... No, it's start differently. So we have the filter modulation can be a combination of an external signal plus an internal signal in a mixed ratio, or it can be either or, and this is determined by this switch. So if this switch is set down, right?
It's mixed, yes.
It mixes both the external signal and the internal selected source, which can be the oscillator and the ADSR, and so meaning that if we here, wait, I turn it on. So here there's no change that we can hear, and wait, we plug an external signal. We can hear the switch. So if we set it to the upper position, we hear only the internal modulation from the ADSR or this
oscillator,
or the oscillator. And if we pull it down, we hear a portion of this oscillator going to the external internal. And so I think the routing is really providing very much options. And
yeah. Okay. So now we can go to BLD. Maybe I should. Otherwise, it's too much.
Yeah, let's take this out first.
Mm.
Wait, this is this one. So.
Okay. Anyway, I called VM1S because I added just some small things like saturation. But BLD is much different, so I call it BLD2. It's new version of BLD. Also the same footprint, same knobs, but I added 3 switches. So what we can...
we can listen to.
Yeah, no, also oscilloscope.
Ah, yeah, of course.
Plus sound, of course. Okay. Okay, I added those. Oh my God! You know, you have to lower there, and I have to raise this one. I don't see anything. Okay, nice. Yeah. So it's also the same switch for two different pulses. So it's animated pulse, but I also made animated sawtooth. So when you modulate the pulse width, you have. Can you raise that?
Yeah.
And you can blend between all those waveforms. You have only pulse, and this is triangle, which when you just saturate, you get sine wave and distorted sine wave. Yeah. Okay. And I also modified filter, so now it has low pass or band pass mode. This is band pass mode, this is low pass, and 24 dB as standard and 36 dB. It's not big difference sonically, but it make sound kind of more deep and polished and well, better filtered than with standard 24 dB per octave. And the last thing I changed is the noise. It was kind of little bit weak noise before, and also I had background noise all the time, constant. So I changed it, so now noise is controlled, the volume of noise is controlled from 2 envelope generators and pre and post filter. And it's very powerful sound actually.
Do we have to go to the amp? Do we have to take the amp?
Oh, yeah, yes. This is pre. Yeah, of course. So volume of oscillator and noise is now equal, so to speak. And I added also external audio input, which goes into the same saturation circuit as oscillators. So if one of them are bigger, they are taking over, so to speak. It is kind of modulation effect. So it's kind of extra, which is not labeled in any way, but it's
determined by the input volume, actually.
yeah, and you can hear later when you play. Yes. So otherwise, it's and also added I'm filter because it was a lot of complaints. So I listen to all complaints. I'm humble, so of course, you're right. So I change it actually, everything.
That's
so,
nice of you.
And now, if people complain, sorry,
No
I
more
don't.
complaints.
No more complaints. I did what I could, actually. Okay, this is my short performance, and
I think maybe we quickly turn on this because
yeah.
It's really capable of making quite complex.
You make your patching first. They
Yeah.
can wait, you know. So.
But I'm always really scared to be boring and.
No, we're not boring.
So really a great function is that we can change with those two knobs the routing of levels of both the oscillator and the noise. And it's depending on the settings, we have quite different results, and so we can make strong changes really with just a few hand moves. Something else that's really important is that we can control the decay time for this. And of course it's really no noise.
Yeah.
We can hear.
No, no.
What? Let's do it. Let's do it.
No, I mean, you can CV control as well, attack, hold, decay, plus decay from the first one. It makes really very dynamic then,
Yeah,
because it's shortly longer, so it makes good rhythm.
Now it's really long.
Yeah. So do the same as you did before.
The same as I did before?
Yeah, yeah.
It was different, you say?
No, I mean, I don't know. It was more fun.
It was better. Oh, it's just this. Yeah, always when you're trying to achieve something under stress.
Don't stress. Come on. No reason.
Can we ask a question?
Of course you can.
Yeah, yeah.
Louder, louder.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Has anyone
With a lot of
question?
bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Say it, please.
The old VLD, the FM amount from envelope to edge was a bit limited, and you could
Yeah.
get much more. Repeat the question.
I do repeat the question, yeah. In the first BLD version, are you finished with the question?
Yeah, the question is if this was touched in this version, that you have more amount of pitch modulation without patching a cable.
No.
So I made the experience when you patched the envelope by cable to FM.
It has
And then you had full,
more depth.
yes, yes.
Yeah, it has more depth.
It was last fault. He suggested this. It was very good. That you have very little change just to make drums, you know, this little bending, right? So I did it. And
so I quickly repeat the
yeah.
question to the camera because it's often not so well heard. So in the first BLD, when we routed this one internally, which we'll just do in order to...
just without noise.
yeah, there's
just-
no noise
just-
and the oscillator.
Oh, you opened it.
So now, when we turn up the internal modulation coming from the envelope, the modulation depth is not very deep, but
It's a real longy sound. Waste 2. Okay. This how it
So
is
let's
pre-patched
let's show it how it is when you patch it.
from one of the envelopes.
Typical thing, broken cable.
Maybe cable. I hope it's just cable. Yeah.
So now I quickly repeat it. So the question was if it has changed that the internal modulation depth is small, which Wowa explained was the suggestion of a customer, Mr. Lastroschen, and it has not changed. It's still the same. So when you patch it, the depth is much deeper, actually, the modulation depth, than on the internal wiring without patching. And this was made in the intention that in case of producing drum sounds, it wasn't necessary to pitch over 5 octaves.
No,
This one,
no, of course not.
envelope.
Yeah. Okay.
Are there other questions? Please.
One question about the VM1 I didn't get was where's the new noise source? I got the ring modulator, but is it the switch?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you just switch it and then you have access.
External signal,
Repeat the question.
ring modulator between two signals.
I just repeat the question.
Yeah.
So the question is in the voice module the noise added? No, that was the question, yeah. And yes, it's added, and you select it here. Can you see this? It's selectable in the oscillator section.
Wouldn't it have been good to have noise pre-patched to external input if there is nothing patched in, so that we can use the oscillator plus noise?
Oh, yeah. Why didn't you tell me before?
I didn't know you were doing this. Can you still repeat the question, please?
The question was, wouldn't it have been better to route the noise in the VM1 to the external input? And if nothing is patched into the external input, you can select the noise from there. Next time.
No, no. I can do it maybe. I didn't start production yet, so I can make change.
Oh, so we are just maybe in time, yeah? Great. Thanks, Philip, for this remark.
So Philip got the high score.
Yeah.
He's the top schooler of today.
I will see if it's possible, because it's very dense underneath, actually. It's a lot of stuff. Okay. Nothing to ask?
One question on the BLD filter.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that it's based on the DMF2.
Yeah.
Is that true? Like
Yes.
Also the old BLD filter, is it also based
Yes.
on
Yeah. But I added 2 stages, plus bandpass selection as well.
So the question was if on the BLD truly the filter section is based on the filter of the DMF2 filter, and yes, it is on the previous model as well as on this, except for the fact that here now, in addition to the previous model, we have the bandpass mode added, which is kind of useful really for drums.
And 2 more poles, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and we have a steeper
Steeper filter,
yeah. Quite similar to DMF2, I think.
It's the same.
Yeah, it has
Actually,
also 36 dB filter port.
Yes.
So if there are not more questions, I think we thank you for coming. And I think many people would be interested in knowing how's the production, when can those modules be available.
I do everything I can. Believe me.
That's an awesome answer.
I'm not lazy. I started already, and I have now very good sources, very reliable and professional makers of both front panels, electronics. So they do the 95% of job. I just put fronts on, testing, calibrating, and that's it. So I increased production, but maybe I will increase even more. I don't know. I don't want to flood the market.
Oh, but don't be worried, you are flooding the market. I think that's no concern for now.
Yeah, but it's also, you know, if I have too much, I am alone with
Of
this.
course, yeah, for you maybe, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think for your customers, you can hardly flood the market. And which one will be the first one to be released?
Those four.
All together, so they are coming actually simultaneously.
Yeah. Yeah.
So nice, then. Thanks a lot for coming, sharing those new modules with us, and don't hesitate to come back soon with
Yes.
further designs.
And one last question. Will you be in person on Super Booth 19?
Oh my God.
Yes, okay. No, not him, but you.
Yeah. I hope. Yeah, of course.
Okay, you said
You asking me, of course, Andreas.